What's up, everybody? Tim Conley here, and I want to share with you the best multi-million-dollar digital marketing niche. Let's check it. One of the main questions that I've gotten over the last decade is, what's the best niche for me to go into? And that's a really tough one to answer because I don't really know the person very well, or maybe at all, to be able to say, here's what your skill sets are, here's a niche that would be perfect for those skill sets. So what I'm going to do is share with you what's going on in the digital marketing space so that you can make a great decision about what niche is actually best for you. So I don't want the thumbnail, the title, and the opening of this video to be clickbait. Is there a best niche that's going to create multi-million dollars? Well, there is. There's a best niche for you, but there's no such thing as a best niche at all. I'm really not that into niches. I'm more into industries, and we'll go into that in a bit. But I use the word niche because that is pervasive in the guru world of what do you do in digital marketing? It's like pick a niche. Back to what's a best niche, I've got a client that's in dental space. I've got one that's in the chiropractic space. And those are like cliches in the digital marketing world, like gurus use those as examples all the time. And they've got multi-million-dollar businesses. Is it the best niche? Is either one of those the best? Well, I don't think so personally, but they've got a good business. I think one of the things that I've got to address is that why that question of best, because it's hard for them to do what they do. And I think a lot of people are looking for best to mean easy, like easy way to riches. And there's no such thing as that. So if you want me to tell you, go pick this particular niche and you're going to build a multi-million-dollar a year agency, well, you probably can. If you're going after the B2B space, well, then you probably can achieve that no matter what niche you pick. Just like pick one out of a hat. If it doesn't matter what industry you're going into, then doesn't matter. Just go pick one because they're all capable of supporting a multi-million-dollar a year agency. Actually, not just one multi-million-dollar a year agency, but hundreds, if not thousands of them. So go do that. Pick whichever one you have the most affinity towards, you have the most domain knowledge in. Go do that. Where's your expertise lie? Follow your expertise. That's going to help you pick a niche. But here's my advice to you, and that's go pick an industry, not a niche, an industry that is on an uptrend. You probably can't make out the shirt, but this is a company that I invested in, Contractor Dynamics, and we are in the construction industry. And it's on an uptrend, has been since 2008 when the market crashed. From that point on, it's been just swinging back upwards. The problem with being in this particular industry is, well, the next crash is going to, make things hard on us. So right now we're on an uptrend. Construction is booming all over the world, and it's a great place to be in. I don't even mind sharing details about how we go about doing marketing and getting clients and things like that in the construction industry because it's a giant industry. Actually, we can't even call it an industry. It's a global economy all to itself. You could go anywhere. You could pick a single city in the United States. You could pick a state. You could pick North America. You could pick the whole globe, and we will probably never cross paths. It's so huge that it could support a lot of agencies doing tens of millions of dollars. Do I recommend you go into the construction industry? Not really, not unless you're willing to dedicate the next 10 years of your life to it. And what's going to happen in the next 10 years is there's going to be a downturn. We're near the end of the uptrend in construction. So if you come in now, you might have months, if not a couple of years, before we enter a downturn. And if that happens and you're not ready for it, you're going to struggle. You're not going to be in the best niche. So here's what you do is you find where the trends are. What I have done is I've identified 3 trends that are happening. They've been happening for about a decade, and they've got a good solid decade, in my opinion, a good solid decade of more upward mobility. And you can go in and find an industry, and if you're just getting started, you can find a niche within one of those industries that's having this uptrend, and you will be able to build a multi-million-dollar a year agency. So here they are. Influencer marketing is still in its Wild West days, and it's been going on for a decade. There's agencies who have been specializing in influencer marketing for over 10 years, and they are still at the forefront of this new trend. You could go into influencer marketing right now. You'll need to pick an industry, and if you're really raw, you don't have a lot of experience, then you're gonna have to pick a small niche inside of that industry, and then you'll be able to rise up with this trend. One of the things that you're gonna have to look for is companies that need influencers to share their products to an audience, a specific audience. So that means you gotta kind of be a talent agent, a talent scout, and go looking for people who have the type of audience that in your chosen industry, they're going to be able to share their views, their input on a particular kind of product or types of products. And then you can go out to that industry and find manufacturers, retailers, any type of person selling a similar product or service, and bring it back to this stable of talent that you've identified. And then you broker between the companies and the influencers so that all of you win. Everybody wins in this scenario. The internet is destroying the margins for anyone stuck in the middle. So manufacturers are trying to go directly to the consumer. And this has been a decade-long trend also. And you can come into that space and help those manufacturers get their marketing in front of the right consumer with the right messaging. One of the biggest things that you're going to have to deal with in the direct-to-consumer world is finding the right manufacturers, because a lot of them want to dip their toe into going direct-to-consumer, but they're not willing to put a lot of resources into it yet because it's early in the trend, a decade-long trend, and they still think they're in the early stages of it, that it hasn't been proven yet. So that means you've got to find manufacturers who want to just dive in. They just want to go all in on this, because those are the ones that are going to give you the freedom to be able to do the right kind of marketing, put out the right kind of message to get consumers to come back to the manufacturer and to be dedicated to the manufacturer instead of going to Amazon or some other type of retailer to get those products. This third trend is still really early, earlier than the others, and that is distributor to consumer. Sure, distributors have been going out to retailers and somewhat selling directly to consumers for a little while now, but they haven't really jumped in with all their force to do marketing to the consumer. They're just now starting to test this. The reason they're testing it is because the internet is eating their margins. They used to make crazy amounts of money being the middleman between the manufacturer and the retailer, but now the retailer's margins are getting cut thin, and that means their margins get cut thinner. The manufacturer's margins are getting cut thinner, and distributors don't want to go out of business. Sure, the internet's making it very hard to be a distributor, but that doesn't mean they want to go out of business. They still want to survive. So what they've identified is that they have to start going direct to consumer. They can't let Amazon and Alibaba and other platforms eat away at their margins. They have to become platforms themselves. What I want for you is to stop listening to gurus that tell you to go to retail instead of going into wholesale. Wholesale is where the real money is in these trends that we're seeing. You need to go right to the source and help those people, that's either the manufacturer, the distributor, or the brand, go directly to the consumer. You need to find your way into that. What industry? What niche? Well, they're all good. Every one of those are good. You just have to go wholesale instead of retail. You don't want to go to the top of that. What I mean by that is go after manufacturers who sell to dentists and chiropractors and doctors. There's these huge industries that are sitting right behind the dentists and all the other professions that gurus tell you to go after. The gurus tell you to go after the professions. That's retail. And what I'm telling you to do is, if you want to take advantage of these uptrends that we're seeing, you have to go wholesale. You have to go to the people who are selling the picks and shovels to the gold miners. That's what you need to do. So hopefully I've intrigued you with these 3 uptrends that we're seeing right now, so that you can pick which industry is right for you to build your multi-million-dollar a year digital marketing agency. And if you did find this intriguing, mildly entertaining, then like, subscribe, share, and do all the socials, and we'll see each other right back here in the next video.